Hetapu Netaru. I am Real Young Talent, Infinite Young Energy, Ryt Iye. Nice to meet you informally. Hopefully we meet you in the physical soon. Until such times, please, more love, more life, more joy, more prosperity, and more tranquility. Absolutely. Unconditional love. We're here to talk about the daughters of Earth. Ein Sof, an event that's going to be taking place, the Earth consciousness. We're going to be cleansing and breaking the blockages and the grids along planet Earth. So big up all Al-Kabu and all Al-Kabu land. Absolutely. So maybe some questions. What do you mean cleansing blockages, grids? So many of us are aware that we have chakras. Some of us are not aware about chakras. Some of us are aware of such things as ley lines and node points. So we are almost certainly aware that there is positive and negative. And science even breaks it down in such a way that the two most fundamental principles of life, if you study the Metu Neta, you'll probably be aware of this. The two most fundamental principles of life are light and sound. And as we learn through the Metu Neta, it is the fusion of light and sound that gives us physical life. So scientifically, when we study light and sound, we recognize that there is the zero, the infinite line, and that both light and sound have to traverse above and below this line to create a wave. Now, there can be blockages in that frequency, and those blockages can be damaging our physical reality, our mental reality, our spiritual reality. But there are methods to cleanse these blockages, and this event is all about taking that procession forward. So definitely tap into the knowledge, get involved, join the workshops, and get prepared for this ascension, because we are about to go through an ascension process on Earth. And this is where we get into that point where, why do we study all of the religions? It's because each religion has a part of the knowledge that we need to ascertain for self-divinity, for the ascension. So it's very important to listen to each other and take the lesson as it is holistically, rather than in a prejudged mentality. And here we are taking ourselves into our true identity and working with light and the light form. So again, working with your chakras, cleansing your chakras, opening them and releasing all of their blockages so that you can tune into your divine self and the higher divine self and connect with the higher self. Many refer to the higher self as God or Allah or Yahweh or Amlak, and some will refer to it as Zen. There are so many names that we can refer to the higher self. However, we all share the higher self, and there is certainly a path to the higher self within yourself. So, attending is a lot more than just come and listen. Attending is also about participating in assisting as a collective. If we can achieve this at a worldwide level, then we will actually accomplish a whole lot more at a worldwide level, meaning that we can break a lot more grids and clear a lot more blockages. As we can see, there is rumors, and those rumors nobody wants to see become an actual reality. There are potential ways that we can assist, even if it does become a reality, to protect as many as possible. If we can prevent, because my grandma said prevention is better than cure, then let us prevent And sometimes it takes spiritual work to prevent. But we're not trying to focus on the events of the physical realm as much as we are aware that we exist both in the physical and in the spiritual. The question arises in many conversations I participate in social media groups, and many ask the question, and I was asked this question many years ago in Jamaica as a young teen, or in my late teens. Are you a spiritual being having a physical experience, or are you a physical being having a spiritual experience? Now, I've heard this question in different ways coming through the years, especially lately on the social media sites, in big group conversations, and it's quite interesting to hear the difference of opinions and perspectives, whether you are first spiritual and then physical, or physical first and then spiritual. Right? But when you understand the concept of light and sound, and you understand that light itself emanates from the spirit, and that is the foundation of all physical life, and so is sound. That light itself is the eternal flame of time, and sound gives us this eternal plane of space, and the fusion of light and sound together gives us our physical reality. But they are spiritual concepts, even though we study them in science. So the perspective that physical exists without spiritual is quite interesting, because the truth is physical only exists because of spiritual. So here we can come to a conclusion that all life is the spiritual being having many physical experiences. But that spiritual being, the higher self, is one divine self, one divine mind. This entire universe that we exist in, this galaxy, is one divine mind within itself, existing in many forms, many beautiful forms, including us. So this is a very, very, very good opportunity for us to help not only ourselves individually, but help ourselves collectively, and even those who are not aware that they need this assistance, that the earth needs this assistance. The trees and the animals, the flora and the fauna, all of these beings are in tune. And those that are in tune with earth are already doing what they need to do for what's about to forward. Why we need to ascend. Reason why we need to ascend is there is great talk that there is going to be a pole shift in the not too distant future. Around the break of the millennium, the Gregorian millennium, when the internet was transitioning from its dial-up phase to the broadband phase, as it was getting faster, there was a great talk in the science community that there was such a thing called a pole shift that was going to be taking place. And the general concept to most people is that the North Pole would become the South Pole, and the South Pole would become the North Pole. And then comes the question, well, does that mean the Earth is going to be shifting around and stuff? And it's quite interesting. But inadvertently, it's not exactly like that. As a student and a practitioner of musical art, I've studied art, and you find that in most speakers, in fact in all speakers, how even your headphones work is that there's a center north, and then there's 4 south magnets outside of that, and it's how that system works. So how that would change then is that now the south magnet will become the center node, and the north would become the 4 outer nodes. That's the actual pole shift that's about to take place on Earth. So to break misconceptions, we've had to explain that now, whilst this pole shift is taking place, the grids that we have the ley lines, which are basically the chakras for the physical earth. These things have been blocked up over the years. The many atrocities that have taken place in the physical realm, all of the dark magic that has been practiced and that is still being practiced, these things block these ley line energies so that pure light can forward to earth and change the consciousness of humanity so that it becomes a more Christ-like consciousness. If it's to differentiate between being what is considered a Neanderthal and what would be considered Christ, is that such a great distance to, well, I would ask the question, is it possible to be wise if there's no fool? And how can you be a fool if there's no wise? So both exist within the self. Both exist within you. You are both a fool and you are both wise at the same time, because you're a fool to what you don't know, but you're wise to what you have experienced and you do know. So judging someone as wise or fool is what we try to avoid, rather accepting that everyone has limitations, but collectively we can protect each other from the weaknesses that we have and build upon the strengths that we have and expand on our limitations when we work together. And in this movement, there is a great necessity for us to stop using the segregated ideologies because we come from different schools of thought, and recognize there comes a time when the children of light must recognize that all light is light, and that's it. Regardless of the form of light, it's light, and light comes in all forms, and it was necessary, and so it is. So to recognize light is to recognize that all is one, and one is all. So this is a big call to all students of light work out there who practice all forms of light work. This is a call to all of you to forward together now for us to create one great moment where we can assist in breaking all of the negative energies that are holding Earth down and holding the Earth family down in a state of subconsciousness. If we can do anything to shift the consciousness of Earth in our human family, in our divine being family, then please take this opportunity now to gather together. My art says the law of nature is unity, the law of the universe is unity. So this is that time now to practice the law of my art of unity, as we would call it, in Moja. In the seven, in the seven principles of Kwanzaa. I apologize. Very deep in the agitation talking to you at this moment in time. So didn't want to get too deep because I just wanted to keep it short, but at the same time, as a sage, I find it's necessary to explain things also, and to probably express from my perspective what I see and what's happening and why these events are necessary and why we should all gather together and put differences aside and see this as an opportunity to show the world that we don't need to be segregated to accomplish great things. We need to be united to accomplish great things, and the great thing we need to accomplish right now is peace, inner peace and eternal peace. We need to bring peace to earth. That's the mission, people. So, hope to see you there.